Today is a Sunday, according to my March 2016 diary. We are on March the 20th, 2016. It is going on at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting in my main study. Today is Palm Sunday. Spring begins today. So we are officially in the spring season, even though right now it's like 30 degrees outside here in West Michigan and the sun is shining. My wife said we might go for a walk at a park here this afternoon, bundle up. So yeah, it's been at least 3 or 4 or 5 days since I made a video. And so I thought, since the books are piling up, that I would make a video of just stuff that I bought yesterday at a Christian bookstore. I have a lot of books I bought at thrift stores last week, but I have to make another video for that because I got a lot of books last week. And I don't like making long videos because they get kind of boring. You don't want to listen to me for 25 or 30 minutes. Anyway, so what have I been reading? I have been reading Still Gloria, the novel, by Keith Mallard. It says here about Gloria. Gloria is beautiful, rich, smart, and desperately unhappy. Gloria, a recent college graduate, class of 57, has everything a girl could want. Expected to make a brilliant marriage to a wealthy but conventional man. Gloria finds herself torn between society's expectations and her own search for a future that is both passionate and fulfilling. Her quest uncovers the intensity of desires, the gift of intellectual accomplishment, and the surprising power of friendship. Gloria is a vivid, intimate portrayal of a privileged yet claustrophobic world where conflicting expectations for women foreshadow an impending revolution. Gloria Cotter, in her last summer at home before setting out for the large world, must find her way into an unimaginable future. So yeah, I've been reading that. I'm on page 238. There's 640 pages. So I'm halfway through it, and it's okay. It's a good story. It has some flaws, but I'm still reading it, and maybe I'll finish it. So I'm still reading At the Existentialist Cafe, Freedom, Being, and Apricot Cocktails by Sarah Bakewell. This is really a kind of a heavy book. It goes into a lot of modern philosophy, but if you like modern philosophy and looking at the backgrounds of Jean-Paul Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir and Albert Camus and Martin Heidegger and these other modern European philosophers, maybe the book is for you. And I'm reading along with it. It's Existentialism. It's a little book on the philosophy of existentialism. And I got back into reading Iris Murdoch, A Life. I've been reading that pretty steady last couple of nights, and still reading that. I'm still, like I said, I'm trying to get in her life where I stopped at in her letters. And the last letter I read in here by Iris Murdoch was July 8, 1948. And right now I'm in the section 8, Madcap Tale, 1944 to 1946. So I'm getting to the point in this book where I stopped on the letters. But I'm really liking this Iris Murdoch, A Life. It's very interesting. As far as yesterday, my wife and I, we went to Grand Rapids. They were having a appreciation customer day at a Baker Bookhouse, which is a Christian bookstore. They were having all these sales, 30% off, 40% off their books in their store. And this is what I bought. The first book I bought yesterday was Dangerous Passions, Deadly Sins, Learning from the Psychology of Ancient Monks by Dennis Ockham. And then I bought this book. This is the book I wanted, one of the books I was looking for, Gospel of Glory, Major Themes in Johannine Theology by Richard Buckingham. I really wanted this book. I really like the books by Richard Buckingham. He's a good New Testament scholar. And this is a book I wasn't looking for, but I came across in the theology section. And I like to study Eastern Orthodox theology. And this is The Holy Trinity and the Life of the Church, Holy Cross Studies in Patristic Theology and History by, I can't pronounce this, Kale Antolios. I can't pronounce it. But this is looks pretty interesting. It's on Eastern Orthodox view of the Trinity. And I got this book, Justification and the Gospel, Understanding the Context and Controversies by R. Michael Allen. And I got this book, Scripture and Tradition, What the Bible Really Says by Edith M. Humphrey. She's on my Facebook, Edith Humphrey. I have another book by her. She's a professor at Pittsburgh Theological Seminary, and I'm really interested in tradition and Christian tradition and how that affects interpretation of Scripture and hermeneutics. This is the book I went to get Baker. I wanted to get Introducing Biblical Hermeneutics, a Comprehensive Framework for Hearing God in Scripture by Craig G. Bartholomew. I really want this book. It's like goes through the history of biblical interpretation and hermeneutics, and it's one of my favorite subjects. This is a book I came across and it looked interesting. The Glory of God, the theme of the glory of God throughout the Bible, edited by Christopher W. Morgan and Robert A. Peterson. The glory of God it's like the same theme here. I've been reading this book on the presence of God, its place in the storyline of Scripture and the story of our lives. And these essays, they go throughout the Bible from Genesis to Revelations and show how it sets forth the theme of the glory of God, the glory of Christ. And so I look forward to reading that. And there's another book I wanted to get at Baker Bookhouse yesterday, The Enduring Authority of the Christian Scriptures. These are a bunch of essays by leading evangelical scholars and other scholars on the doctrine of Scripture. And this is edited by D.A. Carson. I really had not been that much interested in the doctrine of Scripture, but this book had some interesting essays in here I wanted to read, and it was on sale, and so I wanted it for my library. A lot of books I buy sometimes just to have them in my library when I'm interested in a certain subject, like the authority of Scripture, or the glory of God, or the doctrine of justification, or the doctrine of sanctification, or the Trinity and how it looked in Eastern Orthodoxy, or the theme of the glory of God in the Gospel of John. I have these books in my library that I can just go down and grab them when I'm in a certain theological or spiritual set of mind to read these books. And I'm really interested in ancient Christianity and the review of the 7 deadly sins, and it was only $5.95 cheap. The book goes for $17. So, and I like reading monastic theology and the lives of monks and hermits and contemplatives. I'm still reading these books, the Apostle Paul and the Christian Life, Ethical and Missional Implications of the New Perspective, edited by Scott McKnight and Joseph B. Michael, I can't pronounce it. I'm still reading that. Still reading Making All Things New, Inaugurated Eschatology for the Life of the Church, edited by Benjamin Glad and Matthew Harmon. Still reading that. Still reading The Presence of God. Still reading Reformed Catholicity. I really like this book by Michael Allen and Scott R. Swain. I like that. Still reading the books on Gregory the Great, more reflections in the Book of Job. I'm still reading those. And so I have a lot to read, a lot to occupy my mind, and as I go through the days. And as far as my diary, this morning I'm on page 246 of my March 2016 diary. And so I have, like I said, I have a bunch of books downstairs in the library, a bunch of used books that I got at thrift stores last week, and I'll make another video in the near future. So till then, bye.